Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. Always remember when you're going out, you pray when you're going out, pray when you're coming in, and always remember, God is in control. All right, welcome back. So, last night we had a wonderful show. It was packed and it was a long one. And it was the analysis of the debate. That's the third and final debate for the Jamaican elections, and that was the leadership debate. And as I said to you, ladies and gentlemen, I gave my opinion. It was my opinion. So no fuggle doubles, because I've been told, and I've been watching Sir Will Rattigan's show. You got to watch his shows because it's extremely informative. And that's Reason with Rattigan. Just check him out on YouTube, Facebook, wherever he's at. And he was talking about he's being sued. Them picked the wrong fight, you know. So Will is not one of those persons that backs down, because he backs what he says and he does his research. And that's someone in Jamaica is suing Will Rattigan in the United States. Check that. You don't play around with Will Rattigan. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? And he's been at it for a very long time. He's an attorney, and he knows what he's doing. So I'm going to pay attention to that. And on PIP Mondays, we're going to mention a little bit more about that. But let's get back to our regular programming. And it's always good for Naram to start with a joke or a couple of jokes to set the tone. And we by the way, ladies and we gotta ask the ladies who are giving men jackets, please cease and desist from doing it. It not look good. It has been mentioned internationally that there's a problem in Jamaica when it comes on to jackets. Goodness gracious me. So please, ladies, refrain from doing that, because it's not a good look. So let me let's see.
Opinion on the
Okay. So let's bring this
men jacket.
You know, seminar tell you no lie, sir. It's a wicked atrocity.
Hold on, let's move that back a little bit and start it over again. Here we go.
What is your opinion on the women in Jamaica giving men jacket?
You know, seminar tell you no lie, sir. It's a wicked atrocity.
Yeah.
It's wicked bad. No female though want go down a jubilee and have them baby. Doctor and nurse take it and give it to who them want.
Yeah.
We females have to become conscious of the things them we do and the people them with impact.
Yeah.
Mentally, it impact the man financially, emotionally, and extended family. Because if you get a grandpicking, you're your first grandpicking, and then a couple of weeks down the line or a couple of months down the line, your ear says not your real grandchild, and you have to go give it up.
Yeah.
It's hard. You know, females have to, become conscious of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And any day government criminalize it, I bet you them stop.
Yeah.
So you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a good look. You know what I mean? There's technology now that will prove that, but the damages that is created is unmeasurable. So it's a serious issue, and I've seen a lot of people here who suffered through bringing up children, and when they decide to file for these children, they find out that, hey, they're not. It's not a good look. Anyways, so let's look at something more refreshing from that's been making its round in social media. So here we go.
It is not your birth that makes you Jamaican.
All right, I want to do this. So Jamaicans are now wondering if they're Jamaican.
It is not your birth
So you
that
know,
makes you Jamaican.
it's amazing. Was that needs to be cleared up by the Prime Minister, by the way. Trust me, it needs to be cleared up. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to politics. So, I declared that, in my estimation and my summary last night, that the winner of the all three debates is the People's National Party. So you want to check that video out, and also um, this was it. The winner of the debate was also Mark Golding. However, in practicality, you need to check that my previous video of how we break it down, because we had Sir Old Tracy saying something different, that it was a draw. And I don't believe, although I agree with many of what he said in his post, I don't believe that it was a draw. I believe that the Prime Minister had the most effective closing statement. However, overall, I think that Mark Golding won the debate, and it was a leadership debate. So it looked as if the Prime Minister was a little bit rattled during when he's had 9 years at the helm, and he should not be rattled about anything that was said from the opposition, because he should have been prepared. I know that there was a lot of passion in both candidates that spoke last night. I believe that they have Jamaica's interest, the best interest at heart. However, it's down to the voters to decide what direction they will go on election day. However, in my closing, I mentioned this, that based on what I'm seeing in the campaign, in the debates, which the debates were not um, anything monumental, put it that way. There was no earth moving statements or plans that really gave you that oomph in terms of, who's different and so on. In terms of not who's different, but what's going to really alleviate the poor people in Jamaica. I saw where the Jamaica Labour Party, their idea of growth is slower, but they have been there for 9 years, and more we'd say conservative. However, although Mark Golding it makes his statements towards growth, it's more aggressive, and he's trying to stimulate the grassroots, the poorer people, in order to stimulate the economy. So there's two different approaches here, but the reality on the ground is that the poorer people are feeling the brunt, especially going back to school. The price, the cost of living, health care, all that good stuff. They're feeling the brunt of this, and it is for the voters to decide which direction or which candidate they want to go with. Because, as I said in my closing last night, The winds of change have engaged the sails of victory. Is the wind strong enough to avoid the shores of defeat? Now, it would appear that it's going to be a close election. However, one thing I did not like about the debates is that the three other registered parties were not represented in the debates. And I wonder why. It's unimaginable that you'll have registered parties who are vying for the votes of the the Jamaican voters, and they're not represented at the biggest staging for the Jamaican voters to hear what their agendas are. I think that was unfair, and I wonder why. Who can answer that question? Tell me in the comment section why they were not catered for in all three debates. So to move forward, given that the election is going to be absolutely close in my estimation, because when you look at the campaign trail, there there is a massive amount of people who are turning out. Now, how much of them will vote? It's down to um, election day, and after election, then we'll know. Then they tally up the voters' numbers, then you will know. But the turnout is going to be high based on what I'm seeing, and the the enthusiasm, as I said, is there. However, I see. Will agree with a couple of things that were said. Especially, look at this poster here. It says JLP surges, PNP clings to slim lead as undecided shrinks ahead of September 3rd poll. This is a big statement here, by the way. So the turnout is there. How many of them can vote? I don't know. We'll see on election day. But as I said last night, you, the voters, are the wind that will carry one of the sails to victory and the others to the shore of defeat on election day, September 3rd. That's guaranteed. Who may the best the best party win? That's a decision. The real deal regarding the voting decision is how do you feel right now? No matter which party you're from, you got to vote for your who's going to lead Jamaica into the future, because this future that we're looking at, as we are immersed in the global environment, we want to make sure that the Jamaican population and Jamaica is not left behind. We can quickly advance or fall into a recession. During the debates, I've not heard about any new factories being built. I could be wrong. Tell me in the comments section. I've not heard much to do with the there's not a lot of emphasis split. Well, I must say not much. They mentioned the farmers and farming, but is a lot of food being imported into the island at the detriment of our farmers. There's a lot of money being spent on foreign food, but the farmers need to be looked after in terms of subsidies and plans and so on. I heard from the PNP side that they're going to be looking at more storage, and also um, with packaging to avoid waste. That should have been there a long time ago. Why didn't they JLP take advantage of that to help these farmers to make sure that 0% of we have 0% waste. You can imagine that a lot of the foods that are grown in the island, they wither away. A large percentage of it withers away. That's called spoilage, or a lot of it is refused. However, with if you package it and you do it properly, barcode it, do what do to world standards, then you can export it. You know, there's so much you can do, especially with the seasoning, the food, to repurpose it so that it can hit the international market. At least something is better than nothing. The expense it takes to farm is uh, it's very high. So therefore, you've got to find ways to make sure that the farmers are protected. Also, you have so many skilled workers there, especially now that, especially in the South Central of Jamaica. Look at Alumina Partners of Jamaica. Hundreds of workers are not receiving their pensions, and we're going to touch on that um, because we have a meeting coming up. So these people that work there who are out of a job are skilled. They have great skills that they've learned on an international level. You have a lot of guys who have been there for years with a lot of history in terms of and experience in their field. And this is a lot of different categories. However, I like the heart program, but there's a lot more that needs to be done where the younger generation needs to be trained. And also, when we look at also small businesses, I've as I've heard from both candidates, from both the JLP and PNP, what they plan to do, but there's more emphasis on the small businesses from the PNP side. Check it out. Look, listen to all debates, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So it is difficult to say that there was any real earth moving information from the debates and the campaign trail. However, as I said, the winds of change have hit the sails of victory. However, we don't know if those winds are strong enough to avoid the shores of defeat. So the voters are going to decide. I can't decide for you. You've got to ask yourself, who do you trust to move the country forward and also to take care of your affairs? Who do you trust? So, ladies and gentlemen, after the debate, um, first of all, let me play a video here that has to do with, well, it was the end of my show last night. So let's share that with you for you to have an idea. So you can go back to Naram Promotions and on YouTube, Facebook, and you'll see the closing of, the entire show was about 2 hours long. So here we go. Let's check this out here. Let's get to it. Let's see. Let's find that. Okay, here we are. And get that on the screen. This was the closing of the show. Here we go. Let's get that on the stage for you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. And let's cue that up and start playing the video. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I must say that the Jamaica Labour Party gave the strongest closing argument. So they earned the 3 points. The strongest closing argument. And you can tell me in the comment section if I'm wrong here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But based on both closing arguments, Andrew Honus, hands down, gave the best closing arguments, so he earned the 3 points. There was 3 points for the closing argument. Mark Golding did not hit the point on the closing argument, but Andrew Honus did. So it brought them to 8 points, but the PNP was at 11, in my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section. So let me give my closing opinion here. This debate, and this is my closing opinion, ladies and gentlemen, tell me if I'm wrong or I'm on the right track. This debate was focused on leadership for both candidates. Both candidates exercised leadership qualities, hands down. The PM was more forceful, but appeared more unhinged during the course of the debate. It must be recognized that the PM has been leading Jamaica for over 9 years. Therefore, it is expected that the leader of Jamaica would display a more calm and resolute demeanor. The Jamaican people have already entrusted the JLP's their future to the JLP, and under their leadership, it would appear as if the Prime Minister has not acquired his target, and also would appear as if he is slow to the rescue of the grassroots of Jamaicans. At these Jamaicans at the lower end of the scale to rescue them. Is it that that he's slow and his slow and calculated approach has clouded the Prime Minister's judgment to stimulate the Jamaican economy? Did he miss the target, hence why he has rushed at this late stage to cut ribbons and then mismanage the school bus system? On the other hand, the opposition Golding has been forceful in pointing out corruption in the government. Golding has made some aggressive plans to stimulate the Jamaican economy. His colleagues have hit the target, focusing on the lower end of the Jamaican class to stimulate growth. The opposition has made somewhat credible arguments. However, he is untested in the role of leadership. The most compelling arguments lie in the corruption realm and the poor sector. However, his growth plan is untested. It would be prudent to ask yourself as Jamaicans, do you think his plan is attainable? Nevertheless, the Jamaican economy is stagnant, with the poorer class feeling the brunt. Therefore, Mark Golding's stimulus plan has some merit. Consideration as to the alternative to the present trajectory. So, therefore, my conclusion is the core issues are rapid job creation, cost of living, healthcare, and crime. Therefore, the PM errs on the side of slow, steady reform to growth. That this stifles the lower class, and the opposition emphasizes a fast stimulation of the lower class to grow the economy. Both candidates' approach is plausible. However, the opposition had a stronger debate response in all three debates. But in practicality, who do you think the voters, are more comfortable with? In my opinion, Mark Golding and the PNP won all three debates. However, in practicality, I believe the JLP makes and has a practical advantage being in power for 9 years. But I also believe they have squandered a valuable opportunity to grow the economy of Jamaica, and hence are late in their execution of the economic success for the Jamaican people. Leadership is key, and it was all about leadership. So, as a result, I believe the winds of change have engaged the sails of victory. However, are these winds strong enough to avoid the shores of defeat? I wonder if you got my comment there. And let me give it to you in writing. And this is my estimation, ladies and gentlemen. So let me get it to you. The winds of change have engaged the sails of victory. Is the winds strong enough to avoid the shores of defeat? Ladies and gentlemen, you are the wind that will carry one of these sails to victory. So on September 3rd, 2025, we will witness who will avoid the shores of defeat. May the best party win. Jamaica land we love. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my summary. You've got to watch the entire video, the entire podcast to grasp my conclusion, because I went blow by blow, question by question, and I made 1 point for each question in terms of who won the point. And there was 3 points for the closing statement, and at the end of it, my analysis showed that the Mark Golding won that debate. So if I'm wrong, say it in the comment section. Tell me what your opinions are, and be respectful, because I will show these comments on air, live here. If you do it here, or I'll show it on another show. If you send derogatory comments, we'll also take those down and block you from the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is critical that you begin to think ahead of the election. If you're undecided, who you're going to vote for, and it is your civic duty to choose the leader of Jamaica, to go out and vote. The choices are real. Have you done your due diligence? Or are you just on the bandwagon? Do you know exactly why you're voting and who you're voting for? Did the present JLP administration satisfy the Jamaican people over 9 years? Or did they do a good job? Or do you think that changing the current administration to the PNP, you'll have a better chance? Do you think change is necessary? The choice is yours. But think wisely. Vote wisely. Go out and vote on September 3rd. but vote for the right reason. Vote for the to protect Jamaica. Who has the better plan? As I said in previous podcasts, that the current administration had 9 years at the helm, and I do think that they were late or slow in in growing the Jamaican economy. The PNP is pointing that out and saying we can do a better job, and we are catering for the poorer class. How do you feel now that Jamaica, at the stage that Jamaica is at, and how your pocketbook is looking? How do you feel about the future of your country, and who do you think is best suited to bring this the country forward and to elevate Jamaica, to grow the economy, to protect your rights, protect the children, protect the civil servants, protect the entire Jamaica? Who is better at it? That's your choice. It is front and center. In a few days, it will be decided. But you're the ones who will vote to decide who leads. Your vote matters. It counts. So go out and vote. Choose well. Vote for the right reasons. It is your civic duty, ladies and gentlemen. Jamaica depends on it. The children depend on it. That you make the right decision. So, there are many things that are swirling around regarding both parties. There's a lot of corruption talk. It's riddled in both parties, but you have to see through the smoke screen, because no matter how you look at it, one of these parties are going to win. One of the parties going to win amongst all the corruption news. One is going to win. Who do you want to win? And why? Ask yourself that question. Tell me in the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, it is necessary to think carefully of who you want to represent the country of Jamaica. It is necessary to do your research, to think back over the last 9 years. If you think that you want more of the same, or you listen to the People's National Party and say they have a great idea, and you want to take the risk, or you want to vote for them to lead the country. The choice is yours. I can't tell you who to vote for. But do you want more of the same, or you want change? That's your decision. So I'll be following up on Monday as well. Monday is PIP Mondays, and we'll be here to go through some other election issues. Also, Mr. Will Rattigan will be on Monday talking about some other issues. You need to listen to that if you're undecided, or even if you've decided who you're going to vote for. Listen. More information is good because it helps you to make an informed decision. So, ladies and gentlemen, Monday is critical. that you listen. If you have not done your research, you're too busy, that's fine. We're here for you. But check out Will Rattigan on Monday and check out the PIP, my show, PIP Mondays with Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into, we're going to change gears here, and we're going to dive into some U.S. immigration. This is going to be absolutely interesting because there's a lot of changes that have been rolled out for August, and now we're moving into September. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the ICE raids have started to ramp up. It's not looking good. So I've said to many here, especially from our diaspora, that you got to know before you go. If you have a problem, speak to an immigration specialist, speak to an immigration attorney. However, you can't stand still and wait this out. Things have changed and are changing, and have changed, and most of these changes are going to be forever. It's not business as usual. So let's look at some of the raids that have taken place recently. I'm going to put that on my screen. So, ladies and gentlemen, check it out. This is no joke. Here we go. Let's start this video right now.
On the stage for a political storm, but this time the conflict is not in speeches or debates. It is on the streets where federal agents move with speed and force. The first significant blow of President Trump's new immigration crackdown landed in one of the most crowded cities in America, and the scene sent shockwaves across the nation. At the heart of this campaign was the arrest of a man the government identified as a leader of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, a group accused of violent crimes.
Here's a question for you. Do you know where the title of your home is?
And go back to regular programming. Here we go.
And assault. His capture in New York began a new phase where the city became the front line of a national operation. The dramatic language from the president left no doubt about his intentions. In front of cameras, he declared, "We are throwing them the hell out of our country."
We're tracking down the illegal alien criminals, we're detaining them, and we are throwing them the hell out of our country.
That single sentence became the tone for what followed. For supporters, it sounded like a firm promise that Washington would act against lawlessness. For critics, it was proof that the administration was escalating a policy of fear. The message was clear in both cases. The federal government was prepared to deploy its full power to deal with immigration in ways not seen before. The atmosphere in New York changed overnight. Neighborhoods that usually buzzed with workers and families suddenly felt under siege as news spread of federal teams fanning out across the city. People witnessed heavily armed officers entering buildings, while helicopters and drones circled above. Eyewitness accounts described the tension as something close to a security lockdown, with entire blocks feeling the weight of federal presence. What was once just political talk in Washington became a visible, physical reality for thousands of residents. This was not only a symbolic choice of location, but also a calculated one. New York has long been considered the center of America's immigrant population, with estimates showing that more than 400,000 people in the city live without legal status. By starting the operation there, federal authorities sent a message to every state. No community, no business, and no individual would be outside the scope of enforcement. The arrest of the Venezuelan gang member was not only about one man, but about showing that the campaign could reach into the most significant urban hub in the country. What unfolded in New York was not the end, but the opening chapter of something far larger. The images of agents in black gear moving through city streets were only the first signal that this effort would not remain contained. The shockwaves from that night would soon spread beyond the city's borders, leading directly to the next major confrontation at a place few expected: the massive Amazon fulfillment center in New Jersey. The most dramatic proof that the campaign would not stop at small businesses came when federal agents stormed one of Amazon's vast fulfillment centers in Edison, New Jersey. The facility, known for its endless rows of packages and rapid pace of operations, suddenly became the scene of a high-profile immigration raid. This was no random inspection. It was a carefully planned strike meant to show that even the largest corporations could not escape scrutiny. On that morning, about 30 immigration and customs enforcement officers moved into the warehouse with military-like precision. They brought K-9 units to sweep the building and deployed drones overhead to track any attempted escape. Workers who had arrived expecting a routine shift instead faced the sight of armed men reading from a list of names. According to reports, the agents carried documents identifying specific employees, a clear signal that the operation had been prepared in detail long before the doors were breached.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to stop anytime soon. As a matter of fact, they're going to ramp up a lot more raids across the United States. This is no joke. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. We say healing to everyone who's watching across the globe and on the different platforms, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you'll find us. And this is coming to you live. So, ladies and gentlemen, the ICE raids are not going to trend down. They're going to trend up. If you remember the big, beautiful bill that was signed, this big, beautiful bill gave the funding that the ICE needs and immigration law enforcement, that's the immigration law enforcement arm, and Homeland Security, that they're fully funded. So it is only going to trend up. And I'm saying to those who are here in the United States who are undocumented, it's time for you to think carefully. Those who are sitting on the fence and say they can write it out, please don't. Get an immigration attorney, get an immigration specialist. Know all the information you can about your case in order to make an informed decision, but make that decision now. It's only going to get worse. Some of the people here who came here on work visas or visitors visas and now are overstaying, they are also they're also contributing to the United States by paying taxes and thinking that everything is a-okay. It is not. IRS is now sharing information with ICE. So therefore they know where you are. So you've got to make a decision before it gets late. It's too late right now, or before it gets later. Make a decision. This is a serious matter, and your future is weighing in the balance. Remember, they've got El Salvador as a detention center. They've got Alligator Alcatraz. They've got many other places similar to Alligator Alcatraz in the United States that are being prepared. They have Guantanamo. They got places in Africa that they can hold you. And if you're held, then you can be held for a very long time. It's very inconvenient. So you need to make a decision and get up off your loins and take care of your situation, because you don't want to be held. And then you're going to say, oh my God, I'm bad looking, or them obey me. It doesn't work that way. You know your situations. And also those who are green card holders, if you qualify for citizenship, please Get your citizenship. Don't wait around here. So let's move into the next video, and this goes in line with what I'm saying. Don't get deported. Don't get deported, guys. You have an opportunity here to, we say, make a change in your own situation. Try to speak to an immigration attorney or an immigration specialist. Here we go. So let's attorney Matt Bean explain that, and I'll talk some more on it. And here we go. So let's start that again.
"21 years in the US and still deported, removed. 21 years, guys. That's a long time. And 3 kids and a wife. That's a lot. That's a lot. Those are a lot of ties to leave right here in the United States and be sent back to a country that one may or may not still know. This is why I tell people who are green card holders, if you're here and you've been sitting on your green card all these years and you just maybe are too lazy to apply for citizenship, or maybe you are afraid to apply for citizenship just because you don't want the government to take another look at your case, and a lawyer did not tell you to not file for citizenship. If a lawyer told you don't do it, then fine, that's one thing. And sometimes I have to tell people don't do it. You should not apply for citizenship, okay? But if no lawyer told you to not apply for citizenship and you have a pretty clean background, there is no reason you should be sitting on your opportunity to get out from under immigration and get citizenship, right? Here you have, I have no idea what happened here with these people, 21 years in the US, deported. It happens, guys, it happens a lot. People who have been here for a long time are still getting deported. Don't let that be you, okay? If you have a questionable background, of course, speak with a lawyer. Have that lawyer look at your background to see whether you're a good fit for naturalization or not. At least take that step, that first step. And then if you're in the clear, then go for it. Do it. You've got to get yourself together, because the last thing you'd want is to find yourself back home, right? Place where you used to call home. And it just doesn't feel like home anymore because you were forced back there. So speak with a lawyer, guys, about your background and make sure that you're in the clear for naturalization. 21 years in
So you gotta think about your future or the future of your family moving forward. So what if you're deported? One of the things you need to consider if you're deported are what should you not do. And one of the things that you should not do is come back into the United States undocumented. It's a serious offense. If you come back at I've been told of a lot of cases of people coming through the border, hightailing through Mexico, coming up through the border, and coming across the border back in Biden days or earlier this year when the last few ran through that border. Listen, don't think that you're gonna get away scot free if they hold you, or they're gonna be very nice. It's not gonna be nice, guys. So let's hear from attorney Brad Bernstein about those who have intentions to come through the border undocumented, or those who are here undocumented that came through the border. You gotta figure your way out. You need some legal advice, or you gotta speak to an attorney or speak to an immigration specialist. It is up to you to take care of your own case. So here we go.
Once you get deported and return without permission, you've committed a crime, like robbing a bank. So once you are discovered in the United States, you potentially can be charged with a crime, go to jail, and be redeported again without any hearing before an immigration judge. Your only relief would be Convention Against Torture, that your life is in danger. Someone's going to kill you if you go home. As soon as you file anything with immigration, you've given yourself up. And quite frankly, if you returned after an order of deportation, you better walk around with eyes in the back of your head. Once you get...
There you go. So I hope you take heed there for those who are here, undocumented after you've been deported. You've been warned. So this is no joke, guys. So therefore, what if your visa has been canceled? You know, there's a lot of people, their visa are being canceled now because they're looking at millions, thousands of visas now. For those who came here and overstayed or they abused their privilege, there's a lot of that being looked at right now, and a lot of people have lost their visas or are in the process of losing their visas or will lose their visas. So let's check this out. If you've lost your visas, the question is, can I get it back? That's what a lot of people have. The question they're asking, can I get back my visa if I've lost it? So let's hear from Attorney McBean what she has to say about that. Here we go, guys. Let's start this video and I'll speak about it.
If your visa was canceled 27 years ago or even 5 years ago, it might be possible for you to come back to the United States as a visitor. However, before you apply for that visitor visa, speak with an immigration attorney to take a look at what happened and to advise you accordingly. If your visa was canceled 27 years ago or...
So Attorney McBean is saying, really and truly, if your visa was canceled, then you have to put some space between the cancellation and when you reapply, or there has to be a compelling reason that will allow you to get it back. It is just what it is. So you got to speak to an immigration attorney, speak to an immigration specialist if your visa has been canceled. Now, a lot of visas are now being canceled. A lot of them because of the abuse of the privilege. So stand by. If you know you've abused your privilege, the possibility exists that that visa will be canceled. So I know of a lot of news been flying around about people who are here who have overstayed their work visa, their visitor's visa, and so on, and they're still here. However, it's time for you to get some legal advice or to start adjusting your status with the option that's available to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can say you can't say you never heard it. So what to expect let me talk about what to expect since we're talking about visas. When you come to the United States, when you land at the airport, what do you expect if you're coming here for the first time or you have been here for a while? What to expect when you arrive in the US? Let's talk about that for a little bit. So therefore, this will give you an idea of what to expect. Here we go. So here we go, guys.
U.S. Arrival Immigration Process at Airports and Entry Rules 2025. As you step off the plane and make your way toward the arrivals hall at a United States airport, the first thing you'll encounter is the United States immigration process. This might seem daunting if you've never navigated it before, but Travel Tree News will walk you through every step so that you know what to expect and what to do from the moment you land through to collecting your luggage and moving on to the next part of your journey. Whether you're visiting for the first time or just want to make sure you get through smoothly, this guide will help. Once you disembark the aircraft, follow the signs for immigration or arrivals. You will typically walk through a corridor or down a jet bridge into the main terminal where green signs guide you toward immigration. Pay attention to any lines designated for non-citizens or visitors. If you are a U.S. citizen, you may use automated passport control or a separate line, but for most travelers who are not U.S. nationals, you will approach a Customs and Border Protection officer. Before reaching the officer, check that you have your passport and visa or ESTA authorization in hand. Depending on your nationality and reason for travel, you may have either a paper visa affixed in your passport or an ESTA approval if you are traveling under the Visa Waiver Program. Make sure these documents are ready to present. You will also want to have any supporting documents handy, such as your return ticket or evidence of onward travel, your accommodation details, and proof of sufficient funds. Presenting these calmly and clearly when requested can help the process go more smoothly. When it is your turn, an officer will ask for your passport and visa or ESTA. You will step up to a counter or booth and place your passport on the travel document scanner. The officer will take your photograph and your fingerprints using electronic biometric systems. Be prepared to place your index fingers on the scanner as requested. Try to remain calm and answer the officer in a clear and direct manner. Standard questions may include the reason for your visit, whether it is for tourism, business, study, or another purpose, how long you plan to stay, and where you will be staying. You might also be asked what you do for work or who you intend to visit. Keep your answers simple, honest, and consistent. Avoid volunteering extra information that is not specifically asked. Answer in a polite and respectful tone. The officer may look through your documents and stamp your passport or electronically record your entry. If additional information or review is needed, they may ask you to move to a different line or room for secondary inspection. Most travelers pass without issue, but if requested to go to another area, remain calm and cooperative. Once cleared, you will collect your passport stamped with your admission date and possibly your permitted length of stay. Confirm that the stamp or electronic record reflects the correct number of days or months you intend to stay. In some cases, the system will record an automatic date of departure. Make note of this date to ensure you comply with the terms of your stay. After passing immigration, follow the signs to baggage claim. The airport will provide monitors above the conveyor belts showing your flight number and the carousel assigned for your luggage. Move to the appropriate belt and wait for your bags. If you do not see your bags appearing within a reasonable time, alight the next nearest staff member or desk for assistance. Have your baggage claim ticket or receipt available to help them locate your items. In rare cases, luggage may be delayed or lost, and you may need to complete a property irregularity report. With your bags in hand, you will approach the customs inspection area. Here you will have to declare items you are bringing into the country. There may be a short form to fill out or a question asked verbally. Declare any food, alcohol, or large amounts of currency as required by law. If you have nothing to declare, you may proceed through the "Nothing to Declare" lane. A customs officer may ask you to open a bag for inspection. Cooperate fully and follow their instructions. Once through customs, you will enter the public area of the terminal. At this point, you have officially completed the immigration and customs process. If you are connecting to another flight, consult airport screens or information desks for directions. If your baggage has been checked through the next flight, you may head to security screening depending on your connection. If not, you may need to exit and recheck your bags via your airline's counter. If your destination is outside the airport, for example a hotel or city center, you may proceed to ground transport options such as airport shuttles, taxis, buses, or ride-sharing services. Some airports offer trains or rental car services nearby. Always confirm credentials of drivers or service providers and only use official or recommended services. At every stage, Travel Tree News encourages you to stay alert and respectful of airport staff instructions. Keep your documents secure but accessible. Airports can be busy, confusing, and tiring, so allow plenty of time between flights online or with ground transport. Familiarizing yourself with the process will give you confidence to move through immigration, customs, and baggage claim like a pro, even if it is your first time stepping foot in the United States. Remember that each airport may have slight variations. For example, New York's airports may have signs posted in multiple languages and separate lanes for ESTA travelers, whereas smaller regional airports may handle fewer flights at a time and provide a single immigration desk. Always follow signage and ask politely if you are unsure of where to go next. Travel Tree News suggests doing some research before you travel. Check your airline's website or the U.S. Customs and Border Protection website for airport layout or process updates. Some airports now allow you to submit declarations electronically before arrival. Others have introduced mobile passport control or facial recognition systems for faster entry. While these technologies may speed up the process for some travelers, keep a passport and visa or ESTA ready as a backup in case systems are down. If you have a connecting flight in the United States and your initial point of entry is your first landing airport, you will complete all immigration and customs procedures there, even if the next flight is domestic. Only after these steps can you proceed to your connecting flight through the secure area. This is a common requirement for travelers flying transatlantic. For students or work visa holders, there may be additional checks. Carry your visa paperwork with you and any related documents such as I-20 forms or employment authorization cards. Officers may ask about your school or job placement, and you should respond calmly, clearly, and truthfully. Again, extra supporting documentation can be helpful, so keep it neatly organized and easily accessible. If you are traveling with family members or children, they may be processed together. Some airports offer family lanes. Be ready to show documentation for minors or proof of guardianship if required. Children may not need fingerprints depending on their age, but procedures vary by airport. Travel Tree News recommends keeping children close and calm and explaining the process gently beforehand. For visitors arriving with pets or large amounts of duty-free goods, customs may require additional scrutiny. Be prepared to show vaccination certificates or purchase receipts. Excess items may require you to pay duties or taxes before being released. Customs and immigration officers will guide you through the steps when needed. If you do encounter a delay or refusal at immigration, resist the urge to panic. If you are taken aside, calmly ask the officer if you may speak to a supervisor or request clarification about what is needed. In some cases, you may be allowed to make a quick phone call or have consular assistance. Travel Tree News emphasizes that staying calm and respectful communicates cooperation, which can help resolve issues faster. Travel Tree News reminds you that travelers with criminal records, past immigration violations, or other flaggable issues may encounter additional questioning or restrictions. In these cases, it may help to travel prepared with full documentation and cleared wisdom of local rules. Consulting an immigration lawyer ahead of travel is wise when you expect complications. Finally, take a moment to breathe after you complete customs and immigration. You have just navigated a complex legal and logistical system successfully. Traveling internationally can be stressful but also rewarding. When you walk out of the terminal into the arrivals hall, you are officially welcome in the United States. Thank you for trusting.
So, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I can tell you is this, that don't travel broke. Broke pocket, broke pocket, because it when you're traveling, especially coming to the United States, things can reach you. So if you're coming for the first time, this is why I played the. I made sure I gave you the information. And if you are you're a seasoned traveler, but you have things that are adverse in your background, speak to an immigration. Speak to an attorney, an immigration attorney, and lay out what your situation is, because you don't want to get flagged in the airport. As it says, you're traveling through and traversing a very stressful and difficult landscape when you go through an airport. You have to go through checks. Your bags are going to go through checks. You're going to be fit, your fingerprints, your whole DNA, your biometrics will be checked. That's an airport. You're going through like a war zone. So you don't want to be broke, number one, going through there, because you can be held up. Not only the airlines can delay you, but the system through the airport can delay you. So check it out, ladies and gentlemen. So let's move on. And we're going to say welcome to all those who are watching. And we say welcome to Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast. And I'm asking you to comment, click like, share, subscribe, and comment. Tell us where you're watching from. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section. Share this live so others can benefit from it, and also you'll keep this family friendly show alive. So welcome each and everyone. Tell me where you're watching from in the comment section. Click a like and share it, and also put in the comment section where you're watching from and who you are. You know what I mean? So check it. Welcome, guys. So let's move on to the Alcott hourly workers. I will be announcing the date soon when I'll be coming to meet with all of you. So in another week or so, Mr. Owen Witzer will inform all of you when I'm coming. Okay? So we're working out some medical issues here. So as soon as I get that date, I plan the date, then, as I said, Mr. Owen Witzer will inform you, and I will inform you here. So like, share, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, keep watching the show. All right, so we're going to move into some community news. And today, earlier today, we say condolences to DJ Keno and his family. It was the funeral of Chrissy Boo, and it was a heartfelt funeral. So therefore, guys, I want to share a little bit of that, all courtesy of Misha's Facebook page. That's where I got it from, and let's check that out. It was a heartfelt moment. And I gotta say, they did a marvelous job in terms of coordinating her, final rest. And it here we go. So this was what it looked like, and I'm telling you that the family did a marvelous job in terms of representing the family and Chrissy Boo. It was well done. There you go, guys. So just check out a few of those pictures, all courtesy of Misha's Facebook page. It was absolutely massive, was well attended. A lot of butterflies here. That's Chrissy Boo. We say condolences to the family, and God rest her soul. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's not, death is not welcome, but it's a road for all of us. And so, let's say, welcome to Hudlin Pitta. Big up yourself every time. Oh yes. Oh yes. Big up husband. Oh yeah. Big up to Hudlin. And we say you'll see me soon. So we also gotta remember another brother who passed away a year ago. And this brother who passed away, he has the family has a memorial for him on Well Road in New Forest District. I'm asking each and everyone who will be in South Central Jamaica to give the family some support. And that's Rakesh Memorial, which will be on September 28th this year. It will be on Well Road. If you know New Forest District, Well Road is iconic to New Forest District, and that's in Manchester. And I say support the family. This brother passed away, and he left behind a wife and children. So whatever you can do to assist the family in their time of bereavement, to help them to get back on their feet. It's not easy for the mother and the children to survive without the father in the home. So we ask you to help them. Be there. Do what you can. Donate, purchase, whatever you need to do. Be there on September 28th, guys, to assist that family. Also, we're going to move into some community events, and today was the last day for the Jamaica Constabulary Force recruitment, and I was pleading with the youth, um, especially the youth in Jamaica, to start their careers there. If they're not working, they need something to do. They need to get their feet wet in terms of earning money and so on. That's a great place to start. However, today was the last day. The Jamaica Defense Force also had their recruiting. I hope there was a good turnout from especially South Central Jamaica and the rural parts of Jamaica. It's a great thing for your resume. So I hope the youth took advantage of this to join up in law enforcement, because it's great for your resume, especially if you have intentions of coming abroad or to go to join the global um, workforce. It's great on your resume. You know, I mean, it's very attractive to other um, employers across the globe and also in Jamaica. You know, when you have that experience, and not only that, there's avenues in the JCF and the JDF and in civil service that will allow you to excel at what you like, because there are departments there that you can join in order to, you know, do the things that you like. You know, what I mean, what if you're qualified and if there's space and so on, but you have to check it out. But I hope you took you took the opportunity to sign up and make the best of your life. You know that Crazy Mondays is Monday at Mel's Bar in New Forest District in Manchester. That's always on a Monday night. It's always hopping and happening. You know what I mean? It's a crazy vibe, you know, crazy good vibe. You know what I mean? So if you want somewhere to hang out on a Monday, if you're visiting the island, if you're no matter where you are on the island, go to Mel's Bar in New Forest District in Manchester. You will not be disappointed. It's great food, great atmosphere, great music. And on Monday I will also be talking about it. It's from early Monday to in the night. So be there. It's always a great atmosphere, guys. Beautiful place to be, I'm telling you. So also you have Gallus Anthem. That's DJ Kino. That's his event that they call Gallus anthem, and this is going to be huge. That's Chrissy Boo's son. Um, he will be having Gallus anthem, his birthday celebration on September 26, 2025. There's going to be a host of DJs there. As you know, he's one of the leading DJs in South Central Jamaica. He just lost his mom. And this event is his birthday celebration, September 26th. It's a Friday. And this is going to be off the chain. This is going to be one of those statements. You got to be there. Wayne's Bar in Bentown, Comapen. This is going to be a big, big deal. Comapen is, they say Manchester, Wayne's Bar, Bentown, Comapen on the Manchester side. It's close to where Ian's Lawn is. You know, you can get directions from there. If you know where Ian's Lawn is, it's just a couple of steps away from there. So don't be if you don't know where it is, you know, just hit me in the comment section. All right, and I'll give you directions. All right, so this is gonna be amazing. So big up to DJ Keenan. Now we have an event called Book It. It's going to be in Junction, St. Elizabeth. We call it Junction City now. It's amazing. This event is being promoted by that's Impact Events. Impact Events is always impactful. It's always affordable and full of fun. It's going to be in Junction City, guys. This is on October 26th. That's for, you notice that we're advertising or we're talking about events that are at the end of the year. The year's almost over. You know, we're going downhill in terms of the year ending. The year has moved fast, guys. So book it. It's going to be October 26, 2025 in Junction City. That's Junction, St. Elizabeth. And you know, you won't be disappointed. This is October 26th, so it's a great date because we're going to have the Halloween period here in the United States. People who are going for early vacations to Jamaica, this is an event that you need to be. This event is going to be off the chain. I guarantee you it's going to be a lot of fun. So check it out, guys. This is Book It. Welcome. Another event on December 6th is going to be in Prospect by a very well-known individual. We call her Muma Sketel. Muma Sketel has always had a year-to-year party. It's around her birthday time, so I say it's her birthday party. You know, she's always had this event every year around about that time. And it's always overloaded. TikTok sound has been synonymous. I think TikTok was the sound that started her annual event. And you're going to have also DJ Splendid. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more DJs passing through. And it's going to be at Time Is Now Car Wash in Prospect District in Manchester. This is going to be a big deal. And we say hats off to her. This is a big, big event. Oh, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, for December 26th, that's Boxing Day, you're going to have Otis and Randy on their Boxing Day event. This is going to be, hold on, let's take that off. This is going to be Turn a Top in Manchester on December 26th. Otis and Randy. This is a big deal. The Rum Fatigue crew, all the crews, you know, Rum for Days crew, all the crews are going to be there. You know what I mean? This is a link up kind of party. This is going to be a big deal on December 26th. So make it a date. All those who are flying into the country, you want to be here. This is where the rum tree day. So if you like the rum tree is gonna be right here, and you got Eagle Force and also DJ Fire Blacks. He's gonna be there as well. It's gonna be very entertaining. It's gonna be festive because it's Christmas. It's the end of the Christmas period. So check it out. This is gonna be a big, big deal. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you to also check out Asher D UK Radio. That's my nephew. Tune in, and he has a radio show that is going on in the UK. It's called Traffic Jam Show on PassionRadioUK.com. It's on Fridays at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. UK time. So, they're ahead of us. So you got to check your watch to make sure you're on the right time. So check him out, guys. It's a big deal there in the UK. All right. So check out Asher D. And we got to also big up my girl Misha in Sea District all the time. Misha, big up yourself at the right spot in Sea District. So, whenever you're in Sea if you're not at my place, then be at Misha's right spot. Also, we got a big up Top Rock in also in Prospect District, Top Rock Bar and Grill. So that's a big deal in Prospect District. If you're there, just remember, check him out. And if you just remember the Mystic Inn. That's my place, so check it out. It's always good to hang out, have some beverages. They're affordable, and it's a great atmosphere in Sea District in Manchester. So, guys, this is the end of the show. We say thank you for being here on Naram Promotions, the Real Deal podcast show. We always say pray when you're going out, pray when you're coming in. Always remember, God is in control. We'll see you at the next show. And that will be on Monday for PIP Mondays. It's going to be an interesting show. You don't want to miss it. So like, share, subscribe, comment, and click the notification bell. Thank you for being here. See you at the next show. Naram Promotions is at you.